We just started. How is everyone doing? ¿Cómo están todos? And then I'll get all right, excellent. Hey. So we're still not in time, so let's give everyone 3 more minutes to start. I'm looking like if I'm about to have a heart attack. It's just lightning. I'm just saying that I'm very red in the camera. Perdón, parece que me da un ataque de corazón. Te juro que no es eso, es solo la luz. Déjeme cambiar. I have this kind of smart lights that can switch the kind of, here it is. It's a little bit, right? Déjeme ver si puedo cambiar la luz del día. Vengo frío. And no one look like I'm cold. wonders of interdependence. Y sí, ahora parece que me está dando, estoy frío. Es las maravillas. A ver, give me 1 second. I think there was, here it is. And not like, look like I'm Tara. I'm about to sing with the green light. That's perfect. Bueno. Okay, so being that it's time, shall we start? ¿Les parece que empecemos? So, Lama Sharp, and whenever you like to say some words, I'll just translate into Spanish.
Sure, perfect. Would you like the meditation to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes? What's the time block?
Usually 15, 20 minutes. It's quite all right.
Perfect. Okay, I'll begin. As usual today, I'm going to use the Surmeng method. I'll share my screen so that everyone can follow along as well. I think eventually we can probably do a chat book for this method, right? And everybody can have access to it.
Yes, I think that would be amazing. Lama Sharp, hoy vamos a practicar la meditación de Shamatha y Vipassana de la escuela Surman, ¿no? Y lo que estaba diciendo es que él va a compartir su pantalla. Y la idea es que en un momento nosotros escribamos un pequeño libro sobre este método.
So one of the common things between the sutras and tantras is the syllable A. It's found in Prajna Paramita, found all the way to the top of all of the yogas. And so the first thing you want to do is just sound A to relax, just as it is in the Paramitas, right? You're returning to that natural present condition.
Entonces, una cosa que tienen tanto el sutra como el tantra en común es la sílaba A, ¿no? En las paramitas. Entonces, lo primero que vamos a hacer va a ser decir A y nos vamos a relajar en nuestro momento presente.
So we're going to sound A, and then I'm going to give instructions very quickly on how to keep the body.
Entonces, ahora vamos a decir A, nos vamos a relajar, y la mayor va a dar instrucciones de cómo poner el cuerpo para meditar.
Yeah, the key is to find a place where you're not overly distracted. You know, the original texts say go somewhere beautiful with lots of flowers, somewhere isolated, but we don't always have to have this possibility. So we want to make sure, at the very least, we're not going to be continually distracted, that once we take our seat, we can remain there.
Entonces, el texto dice que tenemos que buscar un lugar cómodo, ¿no? El texto original dice que busquemos un lugar donde estemos soles, totalmente bello, lleno de flores, pero esencialmente cualquier lugar que estemos cómodos sentadas.
So there's 7 points. There's 7 ways to keep the body. This is often called, and this is across every lineage that I know of, the 7-fold posture of Vairocana.
Hay 7 puntos para mantener el cuerpo, y esto se conoce como los 7 puntos de Vairocana.
So the first thing is to cross your legs in Vajrasana, sometimes called Padmasana. So you've seen this, right? This is also called the full lotus posture, with each of the heels on each of the hips. But you can also do the half lotus, that is your left leg up to your hip with your right back to your perineum. We're keeping it out in front. Or if you have to, of course, you can use a chair as long as both feet are on the ground and you're not kind of relaxed or too reclined.
Entonces, lo primero que dice es que tenemos que tomar la posición de Vajrasana o a veces Padmasana, que es la posición de loto, ¿no? Pero no es necesario poder llegar a la posición de loto para meditar. Simplemente tenemos que cruzar los pies como para que tengamos una base sólida.
So next 3 points, make sure you have your hands in your lap in the mudra of equanimity. This means that the right is over the palm of the left. Usually the thumbs are joining, but you can just keep them relaxed if you like. Keep your spine completely straight, but not like you're in the middle, not like a soldier or something, right? Just very straight. It says with your shoulders like the wings of a hawk. This means alert, but not too tight, right? And so you keep your shoulders apart without slouching, you keep your back straight, and you keep your hands in the mudra of equanimity.
Entonces, lo primero que tenemos que hacer después de eso es poner las manos en mudra de ecuanimidad, que es el mudra que mostró la Mayara. Can you show the mudra again, la Mayara?
Oh, yes. It's right over left. I can't turn my hands. So opposite fist. I'm disappearing. With the fingers touching.
Ese mudra. Y luego tenemos que estar relajados. El texto dice tener los hombros como las alas de un halcón, que significan ni demasiado tensas ni demasiado relajadas.
The reason I can't turn my wrist very much is because I did aggressive inline when I was in high school. I broke both my wrists multiple times. So this is all you get.
Como él lamentablemente no puede girar mucho, él hizo mucho, se rompió las muñecas cuando estaba en secundaria, entonces no puede girar mucho las muñecas.
Okay. You want to keep the chin slightly tucked, so you're not, doing like this, or if other things, you're not really tucking. You're just keeping it down a little bit, like a swan gliding on the lake. You know how their head is. And then you keep your mouth at ease, closed, without tightening your jaw, and the tongue touching the roof of the upper palate, and your eyes slightly downward and half open.
Entonces, después tenemos el mentón ligeramente metido para adentro, no hay que tensarlo mucho. Tenemos la lengua tocando el punto entre el paladar duro y el paladar blando. Y tenemos los ojos apenas abiertos.
So now for the eyes, if you find that your mental energy is too excited, you want to push them down a little bit lower. And if you find that you're falling asleep or it's too languid, then you pull your eyes up for just a few seconds at a time, and it should excite the energy a little bit.
Si estamos demasiado cansados, podemos subir un poco los ojos para excitar la energía, y si estamos demasiado excitados, al revés, bajamos un poquito los ojos.
Now in this 7-point posture of Bodhicana, you prepare the speech by taking refuge in bodhicitta. You can use your preferred verses, the ones in our prayer book, or you can do the short ones in this way.
Nosotros, habiendo tomado esta postura, podemos tomar refugio bodhicitta de la forma que nosotros queramos.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangharya, Namo Triranaya. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha, homage to the Triple Gem. So these are your verses of refuge.
Estos son nuestros versos de refugio: homenaje al Buda, homenaje al Dharma, homenaje a la Sangha, homenaje a la Triple Gem.
And then you give rise to the aspiration to free all beings and the intention to act in every way to do that with Om Bodhicitta Utpadayami.
Y entonces damos lugar para la intención de liberar a todos los seres, diciendo Bodhicitta Utpadayami.
And it's always good at this point, if you can, to read the single syllable sutra, Prajnaparamita, or the Heart Sutra. If there's no time to do that, it's okay to just go into meditation, but it's great to read these sutras your whole life.
En este momento es un momento como para leer el sutra, cualquier sutra de Prajnaparamita o el de una sola línea. Ahora vamos a meditar, pero siempre es bueno en este momento leerlo como para tenerlo en la cabeza.
Now, to prepare the mind, you have to be in the state of bodhicitta as much as possible, which is why the last preparation of speech is reading these sutras that have to do with bodhicitta, or sounding this mantra or this dharani of bodhicitta. But you need to think, no matter what, I will aspire that all beings attain liberation. Not only that, I will engage in the actions that bring beings to that state.
Sí, entonces es bueno pensar siempre en bodhicitta, pero si no tenemos tiempo para hacer una cuestión, es simplemente tener la resolución de que no importa lo que sea, voy a llevar a todos los seres a la liberación.
Now, the first thing that we're going to do for the next, let's say, 10 minutes is focus on our practice of shamatha.
Sí, entonces, ahora con esto lo que vamos a hacer, por ahora vamos a dedicarnos a la práctica de shamatha.
So, as you breathe in, gently inhale and bring the entirety of your focus to the place where the air meets your nostrils as the breath is going in, and focus all of your attention on that place. Keep it focused without any kind of deviation or distraction while you inhale. So, like you're hard at work at a task that requires your full attention. When the breath meets the place that it'll turn and become the exhale, then your attention should be centered as much as possible. Right at that point of turn, it should be like a lightning strike. Then, when it turns to the exhale, you release everything entirely, and you don't worry about anything at all. You relax out of any kind of technique.
Entonces, lo que vamos a hacer ahora es vamos a tener nuestro foco en la respiración. Cuando inhalemos, vamos a concentrarnos bastante duro en la respiración. Y cuando exhalemos, vamos relajando el foco, sin ningún tipo de tensión.
Now, the breath again, it's going to turn at the inhale, right? So, at that point before it turns, that's your point of most relaxation. But that's also when you, right when it turns, bring that sharp focus back because now you're inhaling again. So, you want to continue in this way in short periods, especially when you're first meditating. Don't worry about making it a marathon. Oh, I can't get to 20 minutes or an hour or whatever it is in your mind. Just do 3 minutes. Just do 5 minutes, right?
Entonces dice, vamos a intentar, cuando obviamente cambia la respiración, ahí vamos a tener que volver a tensarnos. Entonces vamos a intentar este ciclo, ¿no? De concentrarse y relajarse. Intentémoslo por poquito, ¿no? Por 5 minutos, por ahí para empezar. 10 minutos.
So now, for 10 minutes, when you breathe in, focus intensely when the air comes in. As it reaches its turn, focus like a lightning strike. As it turns out to the exhale, relax. And then relax at the utmost point. Keep relaxing all of your muscles, all of your body. Then when it turns again, focus. Now we'll meditate.
Entonces vamos a estar haciendo esto, vamos a estar relajándonos y después vamos a meditar. Cuando inhalamos, nos enfocamos y ahí meditamos.
Now, for the last 3 minutes, as you do this process of shamatha, more and more this space of relaxation and emptiness on the exhale, it will begin to expand. And as it expands, you will have less and less need, less and less effort to return to this strong focal point at the nostrils, because you'll be naturally in a state of attention but totally relaxed. Now, of course, at this point, you want to just not allow yourself to get involved in any kind of effort. You want this open, relaxed space to abide. But of course, if you're distracted, if you become to think about things again, then you need to bring it back to the point of focus.
Entonces, como estos últimos minutos estamos enfocándonos en shamatha, cuando pase el tiempo, después no van a necesitar tener más tan enfocado y tan tenso en la inhalación. Pero ¿qué va a pasar? En algún momento uno se pierde, entonces en ese momento es el momento de refrescar este foco, y después uno, si no, se mantiene esta presencia que se genera por el shamatha.
So the practice of focus for a long period of time is called the shamatha. The practice of staying in this open state of insight into the nature of emptiness without any kind of focus, that's vipassana. So if you can relax now at this time and stay in that state, you should. If you don't have enough experience, keep focusing as usual and don't change the technique, don't change the method.
Entonces con el tiempo esto va a generar un vipassana, esencialmente. Si ustedes conocen ya cómo hacer para quedarse en esto, háganlo ahora. Si no, simplemente manténganse en la técnica como venimos siendo hasta ahora.
Okay, so this is the main body of the practice, and then we have what are called the 3 reminders. These are the reminders of how to return to your practice when you're distracted, called the reminders of body, speech, and mind.
Entonces estos son los tres, esta es la práctica general. Y luego tenemos lo que llaman los 3 recuerdos, que son las formas, 3 recuerdos que nos dicen de cómo hacer para volver a la práctica cuando nos olvidamos.
So when pains in the body or muscle tensions, nerve reflexes, any kind of chronic pain arises, you're going to obviously notice it, as well as any display in the environment, honking cars, loud children. Even though we try to remain undistracted, sometimes distraction finds us. So when that happens, we need to think, now I am engaging in single-pointed meditation, and return to the focus point of our meditation.
Lo primero que pasa es cuando tenemos tipos de distracciones que son externas, como chiques o autos. Eso nos va a pasar y es inevitable. Entonces, cuando tengamos eso, tenemos que pensar internamente, y ahora sí voy a volver a mi meditación enfocada en un solo punto, y así volvemos.
So this is the linchpin. This is the focal point of your meditation. The focal point is not being great and always staying at that single-pointed point, right? Because when you get distracted, there's always going to be this moment where you can leave the meditation for however long you're sitting there, or just potentially quit. So actually the focal point is when you bring it back, when you think, now I'm engaging in single-pointed meditation, and you bring your mind back to the point. That's the most important point of meditation. It's not the point of failure. If you bring it back, that's the point of greatest success.
En realidad, el punto de meditación no es el punto en el cual uno se distrae, uno se distrae, no es que ese es el punto de falla, punto donde uno hace bien o mal la práctica. El punto es cuando uno se distrae, que la distracción es inevitable, volverla a traer a la meditación. Esa es la práctica.
Now, the second reminder is the reminder of speech, but this has to do with one's emotional habituations. So any of those self-judgments that you're not meditating correctly or that you're too distracted, as well as any kind of other difficult emotion from the 5 poisons that might arise, right? Any kind of jealousy or anger, anything like that, which can come up the more you meditate. These are distractions of speech. So just in the way of the body, you think, I'm engaging right now in single-pointed meditation, and you don't engage these things. And that includes any kind of visions. This is also under the category of speech because it has to do with one's winds. So any kind of deities that appear, any kind of spirits. Nope. Now I'm engaging in single-pointed meditation.
La segunda son las distracciones del habla, es decir, las distracciones de los vientos. Cuando surjan pensamientos, estoy practicando bien, estoy practicando mal, más cuestiones internas, no como en la categoría anterior que es la del cuerpo, que son externas, sino que sean internas o visiones de deidades, también decimos internamente, no, gracias, pero estoy practicando esta meditación y me voy a quedar haciendo esto.
Now for the reminder of the mind or for thoughts, this is a little bit more subtle than just the emotions. This can be the constant ticking of the process of the mind, the lists of the things that we have to do, a pulling away toward the responsibility, right? All of this kind of not just emotional, but just mental, right? This mental energy, the same way you return back to single-pointed meditation.
Y la última es la categoría de la mente, que es más sutil. Esto es la actividad de la mente. Estar pensando, bueno, ahora tengo que hacer esto, tengo que hacer lo otro. El constantemente estar tironeado de un lado para otro, eso también puede ser una distracción. Cuando esto pasa, también nos relajamos y decimos, no, 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 estoy haciendo la meditación en un solo punto.
So these are the 3 reminders. No matter what you do, body, speech, and mind, you come back to your single-pointed meditation of shamatha and eventually, of course, of relaxation into the state of vipassana or insight.
Entonces, estos son los 3 puntos principales para esta meditación, de cómo hacer shamatha y, por supuesto, después, en un momento, relajarse en la meditación de vipassana.
And at the end, you conclude by dedicating with the verses of auspiciousness, may all beings realize the perfect body of the Buddhas in their own bodies without any difference. May they realize the Buddha's melodious speech and their own as the union of sound. May they realize their thoughts in the display of Buddha's realized intention without coming together or parting. And may all the merit of this practice and every action only be for the liberation of every being without exception.
Entonces ahí dedicamos diciendo que todos los seres consiguen el cuerpo perfecto de los Budas, que realicen el habla de los Budas como unión del sonido, que realicen la mente de los Budas sin ir o dejar, ir o llegar sin dejarla, que el mérito de esta práctica y todas las acciones sea para la liberación de todos los seres.
And of course, if you don't have the mantras of the dedication, you'll hear those we sing them every single practice. So of course, that's how you conclude. So this is the sermon method from the Dapokadyo of Shamatha and Vipassana.
Entonces, si siguen los mantras, pueden cantar los mantras de dedicación, y si no, directamente pueden ser rededicados. Este es el método de Summa de Shamatha y Vipassana. Thank you, Lama Sharaf. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
So, anyone has any questions? ¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta? How was the experience? ¿Cómo fue la experiencia? Excellent.
Lama, it's always nice to understand the sharpness of the breath at the nose part. Thank you. That helps so much.
Excellent. ¿Alguien más? Anyone else? If not, then again, Lama Sharaf, thank you so much for this practice. Si no, de vuelta, muchas gracias Lama Yar por esta práctica. And we'll see next month we have both the BeatBlast and the Nirvana Overdrive, where Lama Gili, Lama Josh, Lama Sela, and everyone else will present a couple of meditations. Entonces, si este mes, con esto, el mes que viene tenemos tanto el BeatBlast como el Overdrive, donde Lama Gili, Lama Sela y Lama Josh van a dar también las meditaciones. Next activity in our practice is going to be, I think, on Friday. Lama Sela will teach the mind training at the Mexican Sangha. Y la próxima actividad abierta para todos va a ser el viernes que viene. Lama Sela va a enseñar el entrenamiento mental para la Sangha mexicana. Lama Shrab, any last words?
No, I'm sufficiently relaxed, and I hope you are all as well.
Lama Shrab dice que no, estamos muy relajados y que espero que se estén bien. Well, and then thank you everyone, and we'll meet soon. Entonces, gracias a todos y nos vemos pronto. Bye bye. Hasta luego.